Hi, so today I'm going to show you how to make stepping stones, but we're going to use concrete, and the goal here is to get them to look natural. I haven't done this before, and I haven't done a test run. Hopefully this is going to work out. The reason I want to do stepping stones is because this super gravelly path, when it gets wet, ends up feeling like you're walking through quicksand, and I feel like it's probably time to stop torturing the guests and the delivery people and do something about that. So I'm guessing it's going to be a day or two that it takes to get this done, but we'll see. So let's get working. My intention was to have the stones be the color of the darkest stone you see here. So I'll explain how to get these to be a darker color when we get to that step. So what I've done here is I've taken some yellow tape and used it to put the vinyl together. And since there's already all this gravel here, there was probably four more inches of gravel on top of this that I had to take off. I know that when I go to pour the concrete on here, I might have a little bit of it leaking through the edges. I could spend a lot of time trying to put it in, but it's not really going to matter because those edges are going to be hidden by the rest of the gravel that comes up here. If you're doing this on just dirt and not gravel, then you're not going to have to worry about this. It should sit nice and flush to the ground. And one thing to keep in mind is that you don't necessarily need to level things, because the beautiful thing about concrete is that it's self-leveling, so it should make it pretty easy. And I know that once the concrete starts to set, I'm going to have a lot of adjustability here, so I'm hoping everything's going to be just fine when I go to pour it, but it may not be, and then I'll have to reassess. But I'm going to go mix up some concrete and then come back, pour, and see what happens. Mix the concrete a little at a time. This will make it a lot easier. Each of my larger stones required 1 full bag of mix at 60 pounds per bag. Use a hoe to mix the concrete. You want this to have a peanut butter-like consistency. After mixing, you will want to separate the mixture into 2. You'll want enough for the base layer, which is 1.5 inches thick. And then reserve enough mixture for the top half layer. This is what you'll add color to later. A wheelbarrow would have made things a little bit easier here. After pouring your base layer of 1.5 inches, spread it around. Now this next step is the one I regretted missing. So with the reserved 1/2 inch top layer of concrete, add some charcoal colorant. Hopefully you made that test piece I mentioned in the beginning so you know how much color to use. If not, then just start with 1/2 tablespoon. Mix this in well and pour it on top of the base layer. Now use a trowel to level and smooth this top colored layer. Be sure to get the concrete into the edges. Instead of pouring color on top like I did here, pour it into a bowl and then dip the brush into the bowl and then into a cup of water. The way to add the accent colors is to paint the colors on as if you were painting a watercolor. I ended up using charcoal, red, and blue colorants. I kept brushing on color and then re-dipping the brush into water to blend it. By the way, I have the written tutorial on my website, which is meant to supplement this video. You'll find it at artsyprettyplants.com. Now grab a plastic bag. We're going to blend the color and add some texture to create a natural stone effect. Pat the bag over the top of the concrete, and then pat it even more where the color is to help blend it. As you can see, I was having a good old time playing with the colors. Have fun and experiment with it. Now you can go ahead and remove the mold. And now shape the edges. You'll want to add color to the edges. I kept dipping the brush in water to help smooth the edges, which also helps the stone look more natural. Sometimes I had chunks of too much color, so I borrowed wet concrete mix from other stones to cover the excess. Yep, I know what you're thinking. I'm obsessed. I was told by the product specialist for this concrete that covering these during curing wasn't necessary. Neither is water curing. I covered mine because the wind was blowing all kinds of debris on them. I was able to lightly walk on these 24 hours later, but you should hold off on any real foot traffic for 3 days to a week. My stepping stones weren't sealed, but I do recommend sealing them. You'll have a lot less staining if you do. Well, there you go. That's how you make concrete stepping stones to look like natural stone. Although I was a little disappointed that they weren't as dark as I pictured them, I ended up loving them. And man, what a difference they make to walk on.